My name is Mary Ellen, and I am a Villagomez.
So tell me, when and where were you born?
Actually, not too far from here. I was born November 19th, 1947, right here at Parkview Hospital, which is at the corner of 75th and Harrisburg.
And how did your parents choose your name?
I was named after a song, Maria Elena.
Do you know if that was your mom or your dad's song?
Both. It's a love song.
And do you have any nicknames?
I have several nicknames. As a very young child, my daddy and my brothers called me Sister, which turned into Tito. And then as a youngster coming up, it was Nanan, and then it turned into Nunu, spelled N-U-N-U, and then as an adult, it turned into Nunu, which was N-E-W, N-E-W.
And so tell me about your parents. Who were they? If you were describing them to someone who's never met them before, how would you describe them?
Oh my gosh. Beautiful stories. My dad was a Mr. Fix-It guy. You name it and he could fix it. Almost absolutely everything. And he absolutely adored my mother from the moment they first met. And she kept putting him off for a while, and finally she agreed to, see him and what have you. Anyway, they ended up getting married, and here we are. The rest of the story. I do not remember that. I do remember a little tale that she says she was with her cousin Annie, who is a Villagomez, and they were very, very close friends, not just first cousins, but very, very close. And he was with a friend of his, and they saw these two young girls, and they said, "Which one do you like, and which one do you like?" And the friend said he liked Annie, and Daddy said good, because he wanted my mother. He wanted La Flaquita, and that was my mother. So there we are. That's a little tale they tell, or they did tell. And my mother was absolutely an incredible person. She wanted to go to beauty school, and she insisted on going to beauty school, and she did. And so she put off marrying my dad, or because he asked her to marry him before she even went into beauty school, but she said no, she wanted to do that, and so she put that off and went to beauty school and got her license, and of course back then to get a permanent you had to study electricity and what have you, because they had to. A dollar wave meant that they were electrocuting your hair. Absolutely electrocuting your hair. So, anyway. And my dad was interested in electricity, so it was interesting. Or their match was sort of destined.
I meant to ask earlier, what are their full names?
My daddy's name was Gregory Carbajal Garcia, and my mother's name was Elvira Villagomez.
And what about your grandparents? Were you close to your grandparents?
Yes, when I was very young, we lived about 4 blocks from where they lived. And, of course, it was Aurelio and Dolores Villagomez. My grandfather, Aurelio, had a shoe shop. And since I needed special things done to my shoes, because I had polio as a child, he would always sole and re-heel my shoes. And he was so cute. He would say things like, if you pay me now, you pay me nothing. But if you pay me tomorrow, you owe me a nickel. And if you pay me the next day, you owe me a dime. And if you wait till next week, it's a quarter. And if you wait till next month, it's $1. So he was very darling old man that he was. And my Mama Lola was a sweet old lady, just wonderful woman that she was. Yes.
Did they speak Spanish?
Yes. My grandfather spoke a lot of English, and he was so cute. He would say, tell sort of bilingual jokes, and one of them was, when you see a young man walking over there and you want to get his attention, you say boy. But when you see a girl, what do you say? And I said, well, what do you say? And he said, you say boya. Isn't that a sweet tale? That's what he would tell. So, interesting.
Tell me, so you were born in Houston, and this was in Magnolia?
Right here.
Describe your house that you grew up in.
Well, it was not quite a shotgun house, but almost. It's a little house at 7418 Avenue F. Had a little porch to it, and you walked into the living room, and then the front room, which was sort of beside the porch, was my parents' bedroom, and off to one side was a bathroom. We had another room on one side and a kitchen dining room on the other. It was an interesting little house. And next door lived our cousins. Right next door, we shared the driveway, and my Aunt Ro and Uncle Paul lived next door in that little house.
And so who lived with you? Is it just brothers and sisters?
Yes, just my brothers and sisters, mother and daddy. And when we lived on that house on Avenue F, we lived there, let's see, just until right before my younger brother was born in 53, I think he was born. We moved to Denver Harbor in that year because he was born like 2 weeks or 3 weeks after we moved into the house in Denver Harbor. So there was 4 of us there on Avenue F.
Where did you go to school?
I started off going to school at Franklin Elementary. I went to kindergarten there, and I went to the afternoon class so that mother could, either mother could get me there, or my brother would come home at lunch and pick me up, pump me back to Franklin, which is where he went to school. And then when I got out of school, I could go stay with my grandmother on my dad's side, who lived right there, almost on the school property, on Avenue H. And until he got out of school, then he would pump me home on the bike.
Who were you closest to as a child? Do you have any that you were the closest to in your family?
You mean in my immediate family, or we're all close, all of my cousins? Okay. Stella, my cousin, who was here today, and I ran around together as teenagers and went out and had a great time. And of course, my other cousins, Stella's brother Charlie, and my cousin Bobby, who's Robert Bettis, both have passed on. We all went out regularly, had a wonderful time, and if I needed to go somewhere and needed a date, I could count on either of those two guys to take me as a date if I didn't have one. So it was really a very wonderful, close upbringing. And we could go I could go almost anywhere because I was with these cousins. It's great.
What kinds of things did your family do together, as in like family trips or vacations?
My personal family, my dad took us on plenty of vacations. My gosh, did we go places. We went to California several times. We went to North Carolina. We went to Chicago. We went places. And as a family, joint family trips, My mother's family, the Morenos, the Rose. We would go camping, like to Garner State Park or to Inks Lake and that kind of thing. We had a wonderful summer vacations all the time. A couple of station wagons heading down the highway. It was great.
Places like California and Chicago, was that chosen at random? Were they, were your parents?
Well, I had, my daddy had a brother in California, so we went to see him. And when we went to North Carolina, my mother had an Uncle Jesse that lived in North Carolina that we went to go see. And so, sort of, but, we went with a destination, but we stopped at loads of places along the way. Like, of course, the Enchanted Rock, not Enchanted Rock that's on the way to, here in Galveston, here in Houston, Austin area, hill country. I'm talking about, and there was, maybe it wasn't called Enchanted, Petrified Forest that was along the way, and Grand Canyon and all of that business. Las Vegas, we went through there and saw it and enjoyed it and what have you. Yes, it was a wonderful, wonderful upbringing.
When you were in that station wagon, who did the navigation? Who read the map?
Whoever was in the passenger seat was reading the map, okay? And yes, it's much different than today's GPS, believe me.
I don't know if you want to answer these questions, but a favorite memory of your mother and a favorite memory of your father.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. Yeah, perfect. So we know how to.
Well, one of my father is sort of an interesting thing. We had this chain link fence put up between us and the neighbors, okay, and they shared the cost of it, put the fence up, yada yada. And of course we were always told not to climb the fence, right? Well, I climbed the fence, right? Well, I get stuck on the fence. Really with the thing sticking into my hip, right? And I can't get off the fence. So I'm with my neighbor next door, and she says, "What do I do?" And I said, "Go in the garage and get my daddy, and he'll come get me off." So she goes in the garage and gets my daddy, and he comes and he picks me off the fence. He said, "What did I tell you about climbing the fence?" I said, "I know, Daddy, but I did it." He said, "Get in the house and go tell your mother." So, did he get after me? No. Did I go in the house and tell my mother? No. Doctored myself up, and that's the end of that. Oh, well. But they were puncture wounds. I should have. But anyway, it's okay. I survived. Here I am today. Oh, yeah. Yes, it was he was a darling man. A darling man. Oh, my gosh. And Mother, Lord have mercy. Oh, what do I want to say about Mother, but except that she kept, she was trying to guide me in one direction, and by God, I didn't want to go there. So, she and I butted heads quite a bit. But it's okay. I'm still here. And she lived to be 93, and we're okay. Yes.
What do you still have from your childhood or from your parents? Any memorabilia, things like that?
I have several things, and some of them are in display here. The picture of my Mama Fina with Aunt Mary, and the oval picture that is in the memorabilia section. I have a couple of, three little of the peach seed carved monkeys that Uncle Ralph and Papa Lilo made, and a little basket that they all made because there was no TV, and so what did they do but whittle? And my Papa Lilo would who could read, by the way, so he would read these stories like Jason and the Agronauts, I think that's how you say it, okay? Anyway, he would read those tales, and then he would be whittling and crack pecans and share those stories with his children. And so Mother tells those tales, and as an adult, when she would go to the Jones Hall or what have you, and they were having those shows, she just was alive with it because those were the tales her daddy told her. And of course, you know, the wonderful costumes, the colorfulness of it, all of that had come to life for Mother. Beautiful tale.
Oh, thanks.
Were your parents, did they go out a lot?
No, my parents were not. They did go out occasionally, but not a lot. They were much more family based. Daddy said he didn't. He would not go to the beer joint or whatever that, like a lot of daddies did. He said he had too much to do. He had better things to do than go drink or to spend money and you'd have this guy'd have to buy you a drink, then you'd have to buy them one, yada yada. He said he didn't have money to fool around like that. He had a family to take care of, and so he did. Now they did go out on occasion, and I remember what movie was it? My Fair Lady was going to be at the Windsor Theater, and they went to the premiere showing, and they got dressed up. All of my mother's siblings, they all got dressed up, and they all went to see this. And when they came home, Mother had fixed a big para menudo for everybody, and they all came and enjoyed that. That's just one of the times and we went to several major functions, black and white or that kind of thing. We didn't go all the time, not every year, but maybe about every 5 or 6 years they might attend one of those functions.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'm so proud. I am so full today of all this love. I can't believe that we have had.
To the bathroom. I have our bag of stuff.
And we have you recorded. Anyway, it's just, I'm so full of love and thrilled that we have had such a wonderful turnout today. It just is amazing to me. And of course, we were prepared for, 5 people and all of us eating potato salad, but but it was fine. We had a wonderful time. We had the miracle of the loaves and the fishes. We had plenty of different food and plenty of different folks, and we had, I don't know, over 300 people, about 344, I think my husband said, were registered, and we still had people coming in the door and buying tickets to come in. I mean, I know I had 10 or 20 people, so I'm just overwhelmed with it and so full of excitement. I am very blessed to be a Villagomez.
Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.